peace at rest. I and my Savior am happy and blessed.
A very good morning, everybody. Just wait for people to face the right way. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Sunday morning service. Big welcome too to our friends joining us live online at home. Thank you. And to the lovely Pauline, who will be your online greeter and moderator. So thank you for joining us. Thank you especially for everybody here in the church this morning. A big welcome to a lady who's first, but certainly not last, visit to us here in Poole. Suzette Carlisle Thorley, who comes from Romsey. Yep, sorry, no, I knew Romsey. I thought I said Thorley wrong.
No, you didn't. No, you were fine.
That's okay. And Suzette is a CSNUT certificate holder. So thank you for taking our service this morning. We are looking forward to it immensely.
Lovely to be here with everybody.
Brilliant. So, without further ado, if I could ask you for the opening blessing, please.
You can.
Thank you, my darling.
Thank you. Everybody just like to join me in the silence for a moment. Divine Spirit, Father God, as we sit here collectively as a brotherhood, let us open up our minds and open up our hearts and join together and be in the knowledge of the possibilities that are open to each and every one of us in the life that we lead. As we sit here today, as some of you have come as strangers but have been welcomed as friends, let us know that this energy joins together as we pull back the veil to join the love and the comfort from our loved ones that have gone before us. We do this in your name and in love. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Beautiful. And now, if you care to, please join in with saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. Now, my darling, we look forward to your reading and address, please.
Okay, thank you very much. My reading this morning is a poem that's been written by a very dear friend of mine, Adam Berry. Adam went to a retreat, meditation retreat for the silence for 10 days, and you think after all this time in isolation and in the quiet, off he goes for another 10 days to do that. But off he went, and from that he wrote this wonderful piece that I just really felt compelled to share with everybody this morning, and then just to draw my address from the words that he's given to be shared. And it's called The Little Fir Tree. In the midst of the woodland of a sacred fjord place, there sits a little fir tree, standing firmly in grace. All in isolation this tree does dwell, embracing the silence and thriving so well. The trees that surround and tower above, their leaves and their branches sway as they should. This could seem intimidating for other smaller trees, but not this fir tree, it sits full of glee. As everything changes when seasons come round, the autumnal leaves fall to the ground. A skeleton of branches are left at the scene, bare and stick-like and no sign of green. The little fir tree stands proud all year long, against all the elements like the wind on a song. Looks can be deceiving in the greater scheme of things. We can judge our observations with what lives may bring. We can react to our sensations in pleasure or a painful way, and feelings of isolation can really cause dismay. The lesson we can learn and the true philosophy is in the nature of this little fir tree and its pure equanimity. Thank you. And that word at the end, equanimity, it means calm and composure, and especially in times of distress. And just that one word that's placed at the end just gives a whole meaning that threads, I feel, through this here. So the little fir tree stood all on its own. So it says in the words, but really, is it stood really on its own, or is it just different? And it takes its place in being different. And is that what it says to us? It's fine to be different. It's fine to be on your own. It's fine to keep your green all year long if others shed theirs. So as people change, don't be finding life, you know, as people change, sometimes they'll say to us, so what are you doing? What changes have you made? And they put all these expectations out there for us to actually go along with what things are happening. You know, we've only got to switch on the telly, listen to podcasts, and sometimes, you know, it interrupts our life. And we look then, we think, oh, what changes can we make? And then that's the trigger that where we start to make changes. But do we really need to? Because this little fir tree here, it just sat in its glory, in its own natural state. And the only change it made was to grow and to be as it was. Because it was happy in that state, and it survived in that state. And how many of us can say truly that we can stand there and we feel no need to change at times because we're truly happy in the state that we are? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Just thinking, no changes, it's fine, I'm happy, I'm doing as I really feel I should. But when do we really know when we're doing as we really feel we should? It's that part in us, isn't it? That soul and the spirit. When the soul rises within each and every one of us at times, that is what takes us forward. That is what tells us we know we're in the right place. We know what we're doing is the right thing because we just feel it, don't we? We just know deep within us, this is where I'm meant to be. This is what I'm meant to be doing. And what a wonderful feeling. And it takes time. It takes time to recognise and feel that true spirit and soul that resides in each and every one of us. You know, our loved ones that have gone before, that come to join us today, that's what they wish for us, is that we're able to be who we are meant to be. We're meant to be different. We're not meant to be all the same at all, because that would paint a very boring picture, wouldn't it? That if we just all sat here and we were all the same, all dressed the same, all thought the same, and just wanted to do the same things. That's no party, is it? And life is a party. Life is to be celebrated. You know, and this is what this little fir tree, in my vision, shows us. That it's able to celebrate its own life in its own way. Regardless of what sits around it, regardless of the seasons, and we know seasons have to happen and seasons happen in life. But regardless of all that, it knows what it's doing and why it is here in all its finest greenery. So, do we have a pathway where we know that our soul within us, that part of it, there is this little fir tree. There is part of us that can stand in nature, in the truth and in the light, and flourish. Regardless of age, regardless of race, regardless of gender, because the little fir tree doesn't have that. It doesn't have to think of anything like that. It just is. And it stands in its space, and it is just who it is. And if we could take one thing away this morning, the planting of the seed of thought about, can I be just in my own space? Can I be all that I ever wanted to be? Am I all that I ever wanted to be? Without the expectations of others, but just from that knowing and that feeling deep inside as the soul rises and says, yes, yes you are, yes you are, yes you are, yes you are, you are all that you need to be. Thank you.
How wonderful. That was absolutely beautiful. And it's so true. We spend, if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes we spend a lot of time seeking validation of others about ourselves when actually that's not required. Stand proud, stand in your own strength, in your own power, and be proud of who you are and not what others want you to be. Beautiful, really wonderful. Thank you so much. We now move on to that part of the service dedicated to healing. And although the entire service is an act of healing, through the messages, through the meditation, through the reading, through the address, through everything, we all work in that healing realm. But this time is when we actually mentally, consciously focus on linking up with that divine and infinite power. That power that flows from the heart of all creation, the place from where all things come and all things will return. And in our minds, and with the music to be played shortly, just allow yourself to send out in your mind's eye those thoughts to people, to situations, to the planet, to the environment. It matters not. Be drawn to where your heart lays. And never forgetting for healing for ourselves also. And just ask for that divine power to be a part of that wonderful act. Allow that healing energy to flow through you unhindered and freely to there where you have asked for that healing power to go. So just gently now, just join in this short time and open up your hearts and your minds to the influence of the divine. And now just gently returning back to the place from where you started. Acknowledge that divine that has flown through you. And acknowledge too that in giving healing, you have too received healing. And send out thanks for being a part of this, the most awesome gift of mediumship that we are in receipt of. Amen. Once more, dear lady. I'll just remind people very quickly, should Suzette come to you, it's perfectly permissible to lower your mask to respond. And also, could we work on responding? Because I think where we've not been speaking for quite some time, people are a little bit reluctant to speak. So use your voices. Sing out in all your glory.
I shall be encouraging that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so this is the part of the morning where I will work to bring your loved ones, people that have gone before you, through with evidence enough that you will be able to recognise them. So please just give me a yes or a no, or if you're not sure, then leave that up to me, and that's for me to sort out with whoever's come through. So without further ado, I have a gentleman that's with me at the moment, and I do feel with this gentleman the name Frank would be relevant. So either it's Frank here or it's his name is Frank, but Frank would be really relevant with this gentleman. So I always love starting with the name because nobody can remember, so that throws me off. Oh no, look, I have two. So, okay, so 1, 2. Yeah, okay. I know with this gentleman, as he draws near here, I feel a real connection. So I know that this is somebody that would have been close here. I don't feel with this gentleman that I want to be overly tall, but I do know that he has got a sense of humour, because as I say that, he does give me a reply in saying don't make me too short, because that wouldn't do. So I know that he has got a lovely sense of humour as I work with him here. But I also know here with just his being, he was very gentle. So I know that this lovely man here was about helping people, so had a real passion to help people within his life. So would you recognise, so you were there?
He was my granddad, so I didn't really know him.
No, so I kind of do think I'm probably this lady, because I'd there. So, but thank you very much for putting your hand up. So if I can just work with you there. So, just as we make that connection there, I know that there's a smile. So I feel that this gentleman was really close to you. So is this husband?
My grandfather.
Your grandfather. Okay, so no, I don't want you to marry your grandfather. Just a minute. Okay, so let me. Okay, so just as he's here as well, so I do know with him as well, I want to be all about learning, and I want to be about books. So I know that he found that very, very important, and it was something that he passed down, or his views on it, because as he says, my views on it, I know his views are very important as well. But they were given with a gentleness, but I also know there was a measure of being informed behind it. So he wouldn't really say anything unless he knew what he was talking about. Okay. I do, or I just see here, would you understand where there was connections to Manchester within the family?
Yes, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, good, because really bright.
Very much so.
Yeah. Okay. So really bright. He puts that up there. So also I know with him as well, I feel that there was a time where there really was some issues with mobility here, because I feel that I'm becoming very unsteady, and I feel that almost that there was a fall. Would you remember that?
He fell in the street, had a stroke.
I had a stroke and fell in the street. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, but I know with him, he must have had an understanding of the spirit world, because I don't feel frightened when I'm within this state. I feel very calm. Would you understand that he'd have an understanding around this, a very innate belief that there was something else. I don't quite think he knew what there was, but he knew there was something else, and he says, I certainly know now. Okay, and with him, I want to walk into this garden that just has, it could almost be a rose garden, so there must be something significant with this, because I walk in, and just as I walk in, just the feeling I get. Okay, you okay?
Yes.
Yes?
I only saw him for 6 weeks in the year because he was English and I was over in Holland. But we used to sit in the rose garden. On a bench.
Oh, don't tell me too much more, because let me take you there with him. Let me take you to the rose garden, because I know that this was very, very special to him just as he comes. So you've already told me he'd take you and he'd sit in the rose garden there. But also there must have been moments there where he actually did teach you, because I've got an interest, because I want to know about insects here. So I'm looking at all the bugs here. So I know that these times were filled with information here. So he passed on all of these, but also, okay, would you also remember then that the names of some of the roses, because it's as if there was a name that stuck with you, because I feel that there's a name that stuck with you around these. Yes?
I can't think of the name, but I know it's.
But you know, but
actually
it
what
did,
you mean,
it did,
because
it
they
did say it.
go around, so we used to pick them, yes.
Okay, lovely. But as he just takes me back out of this rose garden, I just get the feeling that he's never stopped walking with you, because I do feel that there's been some real journeys, or he's making me feel there's been some real journeys that he's gone on with you. Because I know that there's been travels, because I want to, he packs a case, and I want to have these stickers that they used to have all over the suitcase here. So, but this is with you, so as he's passed, he's gone on journeys with you, not he went on them. You can say no if it's no.
We used to go in the car, not to other countries, but around this country.
Okay, so where am I? Okay, I'd like it to be that, but I'm kind of just would you understand then where there is somebody that has gone on journeys, because I feel that the suitcase with the stickers is about going abroad or going further afield.
Well, our family being from Netherlands and England was
Always travelling. Okay.
Always travelling.
Okay, so I just feel that he would always go, because this was something that he really enjoyed there. But I know also I want to go to the painting here. So is it you that paints here? Because I just feel that there's an influence that comes through from him as I'm painting here. But I feel that it's here with you.
I'm an art teacher.
You're an art teacher. Okay, well, I'll take that. That's nice. Okay. So just know, and he takes such great joy, because the ability to influence you through your creativity is something that he can just blend with and always be with you. Okay, and just know as I sign, because I know that there is some pictures that have been signed here, that very much the influence is there as well within the name. Lovely gentleman, and thank you so much for working with me, and thank him for taking me into that beautiful garden. It's
Thank
really
you
wonderful.
very much.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful,
Thank you. Okay. I have a lady that's joined me here, and I do feel with this lady that towards the end, I become very out of breath. So I know that there's something here that affects my breathing in quite in a really severe way. So I've either got something like emphysema or COPD, but I feel that's what's happening at the moment. You've got 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. Okay, I kind of was drawn to, but and I know with this lady here that I wasn't very tall, and I was, and she says, but I was cuddly. So I know that I've got this. So we've got 1, 2. Oh, we're still with 4. Okay, this is what. So let me go with this here. Okay, so you'd understand with this lady, just as I'm trying to separate her, she would like her sweets, but I know that I want to have sherbet lemons here because as I go into my pocket, I specifically want sherbet lemons.
Just any sweets.
Any sweets? Any? You're not sure? Okay. Okay, let me get a little bit more with her because I know, and it might be that you don't, but I know that I go into my pocket, but also it's not only in my pocket, this lady would have them anyway, so I want to open my handbag and in my handbag and that, but also I know I had to be aware of my blood sugars because she's telling me the blood sugars weren't great as well. No?
I can take that.
You can take that? No? No. Okay, then I'm with you. Thank you very much. If I can work with you. So just as she comes here, really full of joy, this lady, isn't she? And you know what? And as I got my handbag here, I really just want to swing it because you know if I'm on a mission, I'm on a mission. Okay, and I went on some missions. She's saying. Okay, and you know, and the thing was, not many people could really not like her because even though she would stand her ground, and she would stand her ground, she did it. But she had such a way around her that she would do it in a jokey way. She knew how to work people, I've got to say. I do feel that as she's here, I don't feel that I had a lot in my life, but what I did have, I made the best of. Okay, and she's saying here, but that's something that she would say to everybody is, you know, stop complaining. Let's get on. Let's stop complaining. She says, oh, I could tell you a few war stories, and then that would put things in perspective. I kind of feel that she would be like that, a little bit like the uncle off of Only Fools and Horses. She had a few stories that she could tell there. But I know with her, I know the radio was really important to her because I like to listen to things. So I know I want to put a radio on and I want to listen to things. Do you remember that with her?
No.
Okay, let me... Okay. I definitely want to turn the radio, so I'm not saying it is on all day, but I definitely want to turn the radio on. I can't change that, so I want to turn the radio on here and I want to listen to. Would you remember her listening to the Archers? Because it's almost as if it's something that's daily, and I want to go to that.
I thought it was my mother, but maybe my grandmother.
Okay, I do feel grandmother, I've got to say. But would you recognise the rest of that with grandmother?
Parts of it and parts with my mother.
Okay, let me sort this out then, because I kind of do. Okay. Right, now I definitely, all the other things have to stay in place. So if you're recognising that as mother, but so whether she has memories of, but I definitely know I want to turn the radio on, but this was in...
The grandmother would.
Okay, so within the house. So let me work with that, because I don't want to confuse the two of them and merge them into some person that's there. So, but okay, so with this lady that I'm working with that has the one that you recognise as first as mother. Okay, I know with her she talks about 3, so I want to have 3. So 3 is relevant. So that's either she's one of 3 or there's 3 children. There's 3 here. So would you recognise that with mother?
Yes.
Okay, so grandmother's just got to stand here. You know she's here, but I need to work with mother here. Okay, and also just as she not that she gets a little bit stronger, because she was a strong lady. I can really feel that with her. I know I'm looking at a lot of prescription scripts here, so I know that there was a need for a lot of medication here towards the end. But somebody must have, within the family, because I want to go natural, so I want to be talking about having some natural interventions, some healing. So I know there must have been some talk, or there was something done around looking at some, you know, more maybe homeopathic or natural remedies for what was.
I've had homeopathy.
Oh, you're homeopath, right? Okay. So she just
Yeah.
she just brings me here to that, and just with her now. Okay. Right, Abbott Street, or just see a street name, Abbott's. Okay. Abbott's Wood. Abbott's Wood. Let me leave that with you, because it just pops up a map, and that's just literally what I caught that if I saw that properly with her. But it's to know here, but also just as she's here, I know that there's also a friend that's passed that's just joined her, but it's a friend of yours, yeah, and that's just literally popped in just as she's here. So I'm not going to work through, I'm sticking with Mum, but I know that she just wants to come and just say I'm here, and I've just joined them to come and see you today. And okay, just as we move forward with her here, is she makes me feel like you're never good around decisions. And I know here that she's just bringing a lot of strength and trying to bring, and she says, if I could say that word that you said at the end, some calmness around something, she says, that's what I'm bringing just at the moment, but she'll know where it lies. But thank you for working with me on that one. Thank you. Lovely lady there. Okay. Okay, I don't know if I'm finished with George. Would you understand George, the name of George? Okay, so that is for you, so it's just popped in before I start my next one, so please know that they acknowledge George. Okay. Okay, so they put me on a motorbike now, that's good, isn't it? Okay. Not that I could ever ride one, but here I am. So I know that I'm with somebody here, so I'm with a gentleman, and I know there was a love of motorbikes, but also must have had a motorbike here. So did anybody understand a gentleman you were there, sir? Okay. So must have been again putting me on the motorbike, full of trust, because I just feel that it was pride and joy, because I want to polish and I want to tinker, but I know what I'm doing, and literally I've got a real intricate mind as well, so I love things that are very intricate, and I love keeping things as they were. Would you understand where there was either a connection to a Norton bike, or they liked Norton bikes?
Old bikes, yeah.
Old bikes, Norton ones, yeah. So I kind of, it takes me there. But also I know I'm on quite a big bike here, because I can't put my feet down, so I know he's keeping me steady. So I know. So there must have been where he'd been on ride outs, but there must have been somebody that rode with him as well, because I feel like he would quite happily take people on the bike there. I do feel that such a big heart. I just feel that this, just as he really steps forward, that had such a big heart, but very quiet. Do you understand him being very quiet?
Yeah.
You're very quiet.
I am.
He said you've got to speak up, so you've got to listen to him, you
Oh,
know.
right, okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've just got him so very quiet, but such a big heart here, and I do feel that he went too early here, but I feel that there was things that were going wrong for him with his health. Would you understand? But stubborn, wouldn't go and see about
He's had
things.
diabetes, didn't know about it.
Right, he wouldn't. Yeah.
Gone.
but he wouldn't go and see about. No, wouldn't go and see about things. So I just feel that these things are going wrong here, and it was almost as if I didn't expect to wake up because he sort of said, "Well, then I was here, and I've got to make the best of it." So I'm still riding my bike, and I'm still doing. But such a zest for life, real zest for life. Now I do. Okay, I want to sow, and I know it's quite indicative of sometimes bikers, and they'd have badges, but would you understand that there was a group of bikers that he would either belong to
I don't know
or...
about that bit, I know.
Okay, let me just see more into that. I do feel that Hampshire would be important, because I'll kind of want to go to a badge or a sell one that says
Isle of
Hampshire.
Wight.
Okay, so Hampshire
Yeah.
is okay. That's fine. Okay with him. And I know with him there were so many things that he hadn't done, that he wanted to do, and so many things he didn't say that he wanted to say. And I just feel that he's coming to stand and give some support. And I don't feel it's you, but I feel that there's somebody within your group that he would know that just needs some support at this time.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, and he's not telling me who, but he's just saying, would you understand the name Paul? Paul?
Yes,
Y-
yeah.
yeah,
My
you-
brother,
His brother or your brother?
My brother.
Your brother. Yeah, as you say, he just really makes me... So I know I just want to come around
Yeah.
here for Paul. And he says, yeah, and also for you. He says, but you'll know why. He says, but take my strength and take what I have to give and really do that. And he said, and when you hear, and it's almost when you hear bikes that triggers your memory sometimes, but it must be a certain sound of a bike, because it doesn't seem like it's every time. It's as if there was a way that he rode his bike, or something that he either revved it.
16
All right, 0 to 16 seconds. So whenever you hear that quick, it must trigger things. But he said, you know, I'm quicker than I've ever been. And he says, but thank you so much for accepting me. And he says, you know what, you live your life to the full. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, it's quite warm up here, isn't it? Okay. Okay. I think this is a morning for the gentleman, actually. Okay, I'm just giving, unless I'm still with you, and I'm just finishing off. Stanley. Stanley? No? Okay, can anybody else understand either Stanley here or Stanley that's passed? No?
Oh, my uncle, sorry. Yes, it was.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, right, fine. Okay, so let me leave you with the name Stanley then, and let me move on here. Okay. 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 I have a lady that stepped in here, and I know, just as she is here, that I feel that there's some connection to there being a blood disorder. So I always feel like leukemia. So I'm not sure if she had leukemia or there's somebody that's here that she's come to connect with that has that. I feel that this is grandmother. So would anybody understand grandmother that might have had leukemia, but if not, there's a family member here that might have leukemia? It's quite specific, isn't it, if I'm not getting it off of this, so... No? Okay, does that mean...
I have a friend who has leukemia, and she does come to church, but she's not here at the moment. She's not feeling too good,
She's
but
not-
I don't know whether that's
Okay.
a connection.
Right, okay, so it might be that you're the messenger. So just let me, I just know that specifically it's there, and sometimes you are the if I can't get to. Okay, so I do feel that this is a grandmother that I have, so I know that you're not going to maybe be able to recognise a lot around her, so I'll make this quite quick, but I know it was important that there was some connection made. So I do feel as grandmother stands here, I get my ear burns as if that the person can hear spirit or can hear something. So you'd have to check with your friends. So I can only give you what I'm getting here. But I know with the grandma, it's very important that she's saying, yeah, it is important that they know I'm here, but they do know I'm here. So I know it's something that they hear, or something that they recognise that grandmother is here. Okay. I do feel, because I'm just asking for a little bit more, that would you'd be able to take. So I do know that here, as grandmother, that there is connections to the beach, because I know she takes me to the beach here. So I know this area is by the beach, but also grandmother would have connections with the beach as she takes me. But also I know that there's they give me an RAF emblem here, so there's connections there within the family with RAF. Okay, Jessica. So Jessica. So it's a name. If I leave that with you, so just quietly then as she's just drawing back. But if you can take.
Well, I can see that lady today, so.
Okay, so if I give you enough there just to be able to take that, but thank you very much for being that messenger for her, and God bless her with her.
The right person.
Pardon?
That is the right person.
Oh, so do I. So do I. Okay. One more. Okay.
Yes, yeah,
Yep.
please.
Okay. Okay, I want to stay within, I feel like I'm staying with somebody that was in the military or in the forces here. I feel that the name John would be relevant with this, and it is a gentleman that I have here, but I also feel that there must have been a heart condition, so there's either heart failure or angina here with this gentleman. Dad, would anybody?
It might be me. He was a police officer.
Yeah, I feel I'm kind. Yeah, I'm in the force. I'm in the forces. You. Okay. Would you recognise the name and it's the forces, and so now you've told me it's police. Okay. Okay. Would you recognise the heart condition? Had a heart attack. Okay. Bless him. Right, okay, so if I can just work with you. Now, I do feel with him, just before you did tell me it was the police, I did feel that I did walk a lot here, so I just felt that I wanted to stride out all over the place here. But I do feel here also that he shows me there must have been some letters of commendation, because I feel that there's things in a frame that's about him. Okay, you're not sure. Let me get that a little bit clearer for you then. Okay, would you understand that the accommodations, that he would have spent a length of time in the police force, because I feel that they're connected to length of service and things that go with that?
Oh, yes.
Yes, you'd understand it in that way. Okay, thank you. So I know that he brings that. Now, I just feel he feels very proud about somebody. So would you know within the family where somebody's either followed in his footsteps or thinking about following in his footsteps? Okay. Right, he's very adamant about that, so I'm going to take that. So, okay. Right, I'm just trying to see where, so I can get a bit more about that. Yeah, no, definitely, and I feel this is a gentleman that's within the family that's either thinking about it or is already made inquiries about doing that and following in that way. Okay, now here there must be, I feel that there's a badge that somebody keeps that's his. I feel that there's a badge that's kept, and it's in a box because I feel it's open and it's shut, and somebody looks at that. Would you understand where that is?
I wouldn't know, but one of his kids, like my parents or auntie or uncle might have that.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. So it's in a box, and I know, and I can see it opened, and as it's opened, there are fond memories that come from that. So I know whoever opened it is very attached to him, because there's almost fond memories of the times there. But I know, just as he works with me here, that this is about, because he's talking, so I know within the family there's great times of change, because he's saying there's big times of change within the family now. And he's quite excited about all of that. Now, I don't feel that he was somebody that was all about change at all, because he just liked it as it was, and this day goes on to next day and that, and as long as everything's okay, I'm okay. That's kind of how he makes me feel. But so excited about this time of change. But also, I know here, would you understand where there's been an announcement of a birth, or there's just been a birth? So,
I think I know who that could be.
okay, so I know I feel that there's been an announcement, and I know I feel there's an excitement around that, and because I bring in a balloon, so I just feel that it's around birth, because that's kind of I have here. But also I know there must be 60 years, 60 is relevant, shows me very clearly. Sorry, we go at the rate of knots here and give you information.
I'll have to think about it.
Okay, so 60, so I know 60, so it's either the door number, but I know 60, he keeps sort of giving me that. Okay, now, okay, so just as I finish quickly with him, there's this real push forward on a pathway here. For you, do you understand that? Because it's almost like I want to get you going. Now you can get out, now get going, because there's no excuses here. Okay, now this is how he's making me feel, so I'm not getting this from you, but just know that this he was a very determined gentleman, very determined. So I know that's what he brings around at the moment, is this pure determination of getting from here to here, and this is where I'm taking you. On that, and just as he steps back with me, we working, also they must have a whistle as well. There must be a whistle with this, whoever's got that, because I know I want to blow it so that it sits together, so when you find it, you know it's him, because they sit together there. Okay, but thank you very much. Very determined gentleman. Lovely though. Okay.
I have to say that was my granddad.
Okay, lovely. So here with you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Time for an few figures.
Let me see. Yep. I'm getting
I think that's medium's dread, isn't it? Time for what more?
a time for one more. Okay. And just as I'm here, so I don't know if anybody recognises. I know I want to have a dog that's just joined me, and I know this dog. I almost want to be like a collie sheepdog type here that comes and just comes around the front and just sits here. So I know that this dog was obedient, very playful but obedient. Yeah, and your dog.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And I always like to invite the animal kingdom to come in. So I know just as it sits there, but also just so we know it definitely is yours, and it doesn't speak to me, but I just feel here that, would you understand, is it 14? Did you have him for quite a long time?
Yes,
14, yeah? 14 years? Okay, so I know that I spent that with you, but also with you. So do you knit
I used to, yes.
when you had the dog?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel I'm here, but I feel I'm sat next to somebody
Yeah.
that's knitting here, there. great comfort. So I just really feel that there's a great comfort that came from your dog there. Let me see if there's just one more thing I can get. Okay, would you have a photograph? So I feel that there's an image, or there's a photo, or there's some sort of image that's still here.
I've got a few photos. He was my best pal.
Okay, because I know that I'm still here is in that, because
Used to talk to
I'm just trying to get him to not talk to me, he talk to you, but just guide me to show me different things that meant something with you. But also I know that there's just a feeling of that companionship, but it just makes me feel that there was a time when you were worried about losing him because they were very ill. Because I just feel that there's a time when there was some real sickness around.
It was a deterioration if you never took him.
Okay. Don't feel that this is the end. This was earlier on where there was an episode where there wasn't very well, and I just feel that there was a great comfort that you gave. So I'll let you rack your brains.
Yeah, I would think about that.
Yeah, I've been think about that one. But with that, lovely, and as you know, never left you in that sense. Because I want to tap the door. So when I was here, did I tap the door? Yes. Okay, because I want to tap the door. Okay, really lovely, and still here, but he can come over to you. But thank you very much for working with me. Okay, thank you.
I am so pleased we had time for one more. That's awesome. Suzette, wonderful, wonderful service.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been lovely being here.
Before I ask you for the closing blessing, just a couple of notices. This Wednesday at 3 o'clock, being the first Wednesday of the month, we have our healing hour in place of our Wednesday service. This month we have Kevin Biggs, who will be talking about shamanic healing and also giving a guided meditation in a shamanic fashion. After which we hand over to the healers available to the church to dispense spiritual healing. So that's this Wednesday, 3 o'clock, doors open 2:30. Next Sunday at 11 a.m. we have our Lyceum service. This month we have Jeff Nunn taking that service, and welcome return to Jeff to the platform, where in part of the service there will be a talk about the history of this wonderful movement of spiritualism. All the online activities are still going ahead. Please just drop into the Facebook page or onto the website to get further details. Thank you. Without further ado, my darling,
Thank you.
thank you.
Just like to join me in the silence. Thank you. Just as we take this moment to send out heartfelt thanks to all that have joined us, all that have been in our hearts and all that have been in our minds, for us to sit together within this energy of friendship, with this energy that brings around love and comfort. And as we go on our way in our journey today, let there be a blessing placed on each head that sits here and all the families that you go back to. Again, in your name and in love. Amen.
Amen. Suzette, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you. Absolutely beautiful. And do not forget, this afternoon when you see that lady, you can re-watch the service online, and
Oh,
she
yeah,
can get
there
her
we go.
message that way. Aren't they
Oh,
clever?
that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you to the volunteers who keep the doors open. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to the lovely Todd who's been in manning the camera today, and to Pauline who's been your online host. Would ask, just as we're leaving the church, if we can leave from the rear first so we're not crossing over, and we look forward to seeing you during the week either in person or online. So thank you.